Good evening. For this week's discussion board, I have opted to record my responses in an effort to improve my verbal communication skills, in addition to improving my comfort taping my discussion points. Jahi's story for me invoked a feeling of sadness for the family and for Jahi. A benign surgical procedure that resulted in a child's life taking a tragic turn. The family seemed to be placed in a position of anger, resentment, and distrust towards the healthcare organization that had caused this harm to their child. A legal battle ensued on the issue of suspending life support, with the family disagreeing with the medical team's assessment and determination of their child being brain dead and the desire to retract care. The two core values that I selected after completing the recommended core values questionnaire were, for me, family and wisdom. These values could influence my perspective of this particular situation of wanting to do what was right medically, but also wanting to support and advocate for the family's wishes. The Code of Ethics for Nurses emphasizes the need for nurses to support and promote, advocate, and strive to protect the health, safety, and rights of the patient. And that's referenced in Grohar, Murray, and Langdon, 2015. The core values of the interdisciplinary team could potentially influence providers to look at scientific numbers and push for justice of the patient, or maybe even interpret the desire of the family to continue care as a weakness, lack of understanding, or even potentially inappropriate grief resulting in unrealistic expectations or outcomes from the family's viewpoint. All of these, of course, are generalized assumptions on the behalf of the healthcare providing team. Diversity in regards to family structure, religious beliefs, or cultural background could also influence the decision or decisions to refrain from supporting life by medical means, or on the contrary, stopping supportive measures for the fear of ending life of the family member. The belief in a higher power or the ability to heal or reverse the state of illness could also influence the family to be resistant to the termination of efforts. The contrast would be pure academic approach of decision-making on the sole results of tests, medical assessments, and data to determine the appropriate reaction, regardless of emotional and personal beliefs or opinions. In my opinion, the workforce that is culturally and ethnically diverse is better prepared to deliver appropriate care to populations served. According to Pierce, 2014, this can be achieved by hiring healthcare providers that align with the ethnic groups and cultures of the patient populations that the organization serves. In addition, the organization should identify any gaps in cultural diversity amongst their team, their belief, their philosophy, or their policies, and be transparent and adjust these deficiencies as necessary. By adjusting these deficiencies, they will improve the overall performance of their team as it relates to the patient populations that they serve, and with them the value system that they bring. 2 AONE nurse executive competencies that I feel might be challenged when values serve as the basis for making care decisions could be communication and relationship building as it relates to decision making and effective communication, as well as professionalism as it relates to personal and professional accountability and ethics. 2 ANA scope of practice standards that might be challenged when looking at a similar situation could be potentially Provision 1, which states practices with compassion and respect for the inherent dignity, worth, and unique attributes of every patient. And Provision 8 collaborates with other healthcare professionals to protect human rights. In the example illustrated previously with the child, the nurse may find themselves in a situation where they want to protect the rights of the patient or support the wishes of the family who are responsible for making healthcare decisions for their child, but it may be in conflict with the healthcare provision team. Sound ethical decision making requires the respectful and open exchange of views between and among all individuals with relevant interests. Taking a stand on important ethical issues without compromising personal values is a moral obligation of every nurse, per Grohar Murray Langdon in 2015. I think it's imperative that each healthcare provider understand their value system, understand the importance of making right and just ethical decisions, and look or seek to understand the viewpoint of their patients and the family served. Thanks a lot for listening, and I look forward to all the remarks.